Hey guys, let's give YouTube a second to catch up. Tell me when you can see me and if you can hear me. Oh, I'm not seeing it on my screen yet. Can you guys see me? Hear me? All that fun stuff? Oh, now I'm catching up on my iPad. So, okie dokie, guys. We're going to get started. Hello, hello. My goodness, there's a bunch of you. So, thanks everybody for being here. I have a couple of new moderators, so thanks to you guys for helping out. Um, this is going to be new. We'll just put it that way. I'm not used to doing this by myself, so you guys are going to have to talk to me or I will be talking to myself, which I'm not opposed to doing because it's always an intelligent conversation and sometimes you need professional advice. So, done it before. Good. I'm glad you guys can hear me. I don't have to adjust anything. Sounds good. So we're going to talk about summer wells. But first, I want to thank everybody who's already joined my channel membership that got turned on today. I think there's like 6 of us or so now, which is really cool. Thank you guys. I'm still working on some of the setting up kind of stuff. I've got a Discord server in the works, so you guys will be able to get in on that and that kind of fun stuff. Working on merch, all that kind of stuff. So, just a couple of like ground rules. This is going to be about summer. General YouTube rules for a live. Don't go crazy down in the chat thing. You don't have to agree with me. I don't care if you have the same opinion I do. As long as you can keep it civil, you can disagree with me all day. But we're not going to start fights down in the comments, okay? So, just to get this out of the way, so that nobody thinks this is a clickbait or I'm going to drag it out to the end and you have to watch this whole thing. I'd say all of you know at this point what's kind of been going on lately. So, my relationship with Awen is over. I've already addressed everything that I'm going to address in the last live video. You guys can watch that, all that fun stuff. I'm not going to answer questions about it. I'm not going to talk about it. It's not going to be addressed anymore. I'm fine with leaving it where it's at. So, if you're here and supportive, I'm glad you are. I'm really happy. I didn't think this was going to turn out the way that it did. But we're going to talk about summer wells and any other missing, abused, murdered kids. I am not going to cover Daybell anymore either. That's just too many people covering it. Guys, I'm just not going to do it. Leave it alone. So, other than that, I have finally nailed down the giveaway. So, I'm going to show you guys what you guys can get since I hit my 1,000 subscribers. Thank you guys, because that was you all. That wasn't me. And guys, I'm sorry. I'm a makeup person. I just am. So, for my giveaway, I am going to give away this humongous BoxyCharm box. And I am going to show you what's in it. This is a limited edition Anastasia of Beverly Hills BoxyCharm box. Everything in this is by Anastasia of Beverly Hills. However you want to say it. I think it's Anastasia at this point. So the inside of the box is cute and purple. Can y'all see that? It is so cute. This is what you're going to get. And it has a card in here that tells you all about the stuff that's in it and how much it's worth. I think it's like $300 and something worth of products. Let me find it. Oh, they didn't add it all up. 26, 16, 22, 60, 45, 25. So all that. We have one of their priming face oils. This stuff is not coming out of the box, so you will get it. It's not been opened or anything. Face oil. This one is pretty pink box, and this is a glitter face highlighter that I really had to debate whether or not I wanted to give it away, because I was like, I don't have that one and I really need to keep it. I'm not going to open that to show it. There is a facial spray, like a setting spray that's super cute. It's kind of glittery, kind of shimmery. One of their double-sided eyeshadow brushes. It comes in their eyeshadow palettes. So, oh yeah. Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Gel. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the big thing in this box. Dun, dun, dun. Sorry, I don't have a table sitting here. I should have. I'm still dealing with the stupid voice, you guys. I'm sorry. I'm going to unwrap this just to show it to you. This is the Norvina Palette. This is a pressed pigment palette. It is humongous. I have played with a different version of it, but not this one. I'll open it and show it to you guys. It is absolutely so pretty. And purple is my favorite color. So, oh my gosh, how many boxes can they possibly put this sucker in? Let's see. To make room. I should have opened this before I came live, but I didn't think about it. So it's got a humongous mirror right here. It's a full-size mirror. And then we got that. I'm trying to do it without showing you guys the mirror. Do you see that? This way. Well, bam. Neutrals, colors, you name it. The sucker is huge. Huge. $60 eyeshadow palette. I think when I looked at this earlier, I think I added it up. It's like $365, I think, is what all this stuff costs. So, somebody's going to win it. So, I'm going to go through. So, if you're here, leave a comment in the chat. If you're watching the replay, leave a comment in the chat, whatever. And I'm going to have one of these random comment picker things. Pick a name out. I'll do it before the next. I'll announce who won at the next Hearsay Live. How's that? Which will probably be next Saturday. I gotta take a drink. Are y'all excited? Is that good? Like, I thought that was super fun. I would like to win something like that. So anyway, so let's talk about summer. This has been a crazy couple of weeks in my life, so we're behind like a week and a half in news. Put all this back in the box so I don't steal it. Okay. So what all of you guys heard? I'm going to tell you everything that I've watched, and we can talk about any of that. I've seen everything that Duty Ron's put out, everything that Police Off the Cuff has done. I've seen both Dave Rader from Midwest Echo Search, both of his interviews, which were really, really good. The interview room, I've seen all the coverage they've done. I see that Chris is here in Tennessee, which is super cool. And I thought he had an interview today, but I didn't read it right. Apparently that's tomorrow with Candace, Summer's mom. What else have I watched? The interview with Dawn's stepsister, half-sister. I forgot which way it went. I did watch that. I always watch Gray Hughes, so he's talked about it a few times this week too. I've done that. So what do you guys want to talk about? Like basics that I know. There's been very little come out from law enforcement. We know that they took Summer's Amber Alert off of the roadway signs, like on the interstate and stuff. The Amber Alert's not canceled. That will stay until they find her. however they find her. That will stay up. That's not a thing. Echo Search came in Friday. They did a huge search yesterday. They were doing another search today. The director of the Midwest branch, his name is Dave not Radar. He showed some pictures on Do You Ron. Like, I would suggest you guys go watch the 2 interviews that he's done with him. If you haven't seen them, they're really, really good. And to be quite honest, his interview really made me question what I thought. And now, probably Chris from the interview room. The interview with H, I guess I'll just call him H, made me question some things too. What do you guys think about it? What do you think was stuck out to you guys? Or what do y'all think? I mean, what is everybody thinking now? We're at what, day 38, 39? You guys know this whole time I haven't been as skeptical of the parents, especially Dawn. He really doesn't set off my alarm bells. I know he really does to a lot of people. I would want to run in that category too. I hope that doesn't bother him that I say that. I think that he's very skeptical of the parents, but a lot of people are. Yeah. But listening, part of me was like, yeah, okay, Ron is a retired police officer, and if he thinks people are sketchy, that has some validity to it. But I kind of dismissed it at the same time because he's not here. And I thought, well, he doesn't have any information. Well, I don't think he has any information that I don't have. So it's just an opinion either way. But when he interviewed Dave Rader, and Dave Rader was like, something is off. That's somebody that's right there who's had contact with law enforcement, who's had contact with the family, all that mess. And when he says that there's something weird going on, it really made me stop and think what I thought. And like, am I being naive? Am I glossing over something? I mean, there are things that the parents have done that you're like, in any other case, I really would have like side-eyed them a little bit and said that's a big red flag. But then at the same time, I can find little reasons to dismiss some of that, like a valid reason about like how they think. It seems like when they talk about Summer, it seems like they're resigned to she's not here anymore. And that seems really final when they talk, which could be a red flag for a lot of people. But I think when you keep in mind that Candace's sister went missing without a trace, I don't know, if you had already had that life experience, would you already be in that mindset of, I know this doesn't always end well, and without a trace? So I don't know. He was saying that there's a ton of dogs on that property. I'd heard 20 or something. I don't know if they have 20. I guess we'll see. Oh, the other big news. CPS did come get the kids. That was a big one to me, because this whole time I knew CPS was involved because they had announced it early on, like the next day or the second day after she was missing. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to keep drinking, guys. My throat is just stupid. But I thought, well, if CPS is there and they're not taking the kids, there's got to be a reason, because they know everybody's watching them. And it should be the same CPS that dealt with Evelyn Boswell's case, because that's right next door. So you would think they don't want to have that situation going again. And then there was such a big following. You'd think, well, CPS is going to mind their P's and Q's because everybody is really watching. When the allegations came out, and that's all they are at this point, that Candace gave minor alcohol, I thought, oh, she'll probably be arrested. I figured they would either take the kids at that point, or she would be brought in to like be seriously questioned and probably held. I mean, I guess strategically that would be a good thing if you can pick them up for something just to question them where they either have to talk or lawyer up. I thought that they would take that. And so I figured, well, the kids were still at home. They must not think they're in danger, or it's more detrimental to take the kids away from their parents when they've just lost their sister and everything's going on. But the kids have now been moved. And from what I hear, they were scheduled to take the kids like right really close to when Summer went missing. Like all the kids were going to go. And so I wonder why they held back and stopped it, you know? So it's such a weird case, but I thought maybe we'd start getting some more answers because it takes a little while for the FBI and the TBI to get like forensic stuff back. A lot of times you'll see about 3 weeks or so into a case, that's when they start getting stuff back. Cell phone forensics, any kind of tech and that kind of stuff. But we're still not seeing anything out of law enforcement except for the kids have been moved. What do y'all think? Okay, how many, put a one in the chat if you think that there's any way possible she was abducted, by a stranger, not family member, but just straight up abducted by a stranger. Well, I'm not seeing anything. That doesn't look good. Very, very few. I think it's still a possibility. I don't think it's a high possibility at all. Okay, put a 2 in there if you think it's somebody that knows her or the family. She could have just been abducted by somebody that's familiar with the family. So, how many of you are sick about hearing about H? You can go back to the ones because Lord knows I'm going to forget how to count here in a minute if we keep going. I have to take my socks off or something. I don't mean I guess I probably could have worded that better. Maybe not sick of hearing about it, but don't think that that's where this is going. The whole thing with H is kind of it's not going anywhere. She was alive when they dropped her off, and something has had to happen after that. So anything that H says happened that day is just of no consequence whatsoever. Because that's kind of where I'm at. Not that what he says has no consequence. There's stuff that he's saying that could have a big consequences, but as opposed to y'all don't think I'm not gonna say his name. Y'all don't think Summer disappeared before H went home, right? Is anybody thinking that that he knows anything at all? Yeah, I think I'm agreeing with you guys. The more I watch, I think Allie is very biased. H's mom, Allie, I think all of the interviews I've seen with her still have me going, that is so biased. And I think that bias carried over to her son and maybe her mom, or maybe it went the other way. I'm not sure, but I'm kind of just don't want to hear, do you guys think her story is flopping? She's not consistent about what she's saying? It's when she was on the other channel, dang it, what's it called? Unmasked, is that what it's called? When she did the interview and Leslie was in on part of it, she was acting like she had not had a conversation, she was not friends with Candace after last October when the whole incident went on, whatever that was. Dude from New York was living with her and Allie liked him, and whatever happened there, I don't even know what that is. It's a circus, is what that is. But whenever she talked to Chris from the interview room, it was like, yeah, she just came by and she asked if H could go fishing. And I thought, they aren't talking. Why did she go in? Why did she just go by and invite him? Like, that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in this case that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But then H said that she actually changed Summer into her bathing suit at Allie's house. So it couldn't, like, I wouldn't think to put a kid in a bathing suit to go fishing, like, if that was the idea, which I thought was weird. And then they go pick up Candace's mom from the hospital and then go drop off the prescription. Now, I'll tell you, I didn't believe that when that first came out because I live here in Tennessee. I was pretty sure, I guess I should have looked it up before I did this live. I was pretty sure in the state of Tennessee, you cannot have a paper prescription for pain medication like narcotics. It has to be sent in electronically to the pharmacy. So I was surprised when she said she went to drop that off at Walgreens, unless it wasn't pain medicine, but I can't imagine what else it would have been if she went in about her knee. So I thought that was weird. And then they go not very, they went to the hippie house and another tobacco, like, I don't, why did they do both? Why the tobacco store and the hippie house? Don't they sell tobacco stuff at the hippie house? That seemed like a redundant thought to me. And another thing that stuck out to me about that was H said she went in and bought one drink, one twisted tea. And at the time, at first he said, I don't remember if it was a bottle or a can. And he looked it up on his phone to show Chris, this is what it looks like. And then later he said that he asked Candace for it, which I don't believe is the first time that conversation has happened, but that she gave it to him, which really doesn't ring true in my brain. Like, I'm not saying he's lying. I'm just saying I can't imagine a 15-year-old. Why buy? I guess to start that off, why just buy one? Do y'all know if you can even buy a single twisted tea? I've never seen it sold as a single. I've only seen them in packages. But I thought it was weird. Like, you just go buy one. And then he's like, oh, can I have it? And she gave it to him. And I was like, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Why wouldn't you buy a whole thing of them? And it wouldn't cross my mind to go buy alcohol if I'm going to pick my mom up from the hospital and we're just killing time until the prescription is done. But then to give him the alcohol and in public, like they were at a public park and her mom was with her. That just seems so out of left field as a parent to give a minor alcohol like out in the open. That doesn't sound right to me. I'm gonna have to read these comments closer because they're going too fast on this thingamabob. And y'all know I ain't slowing chat down because I don't want to do it. Well, somebody said exactly, so I'll keep going on this train. What didn't surprise me, and this is my own opinion, some of y'all know the story about my niece. My niece, I'm not going to get into all that. My niece has a sensory processing disorder, and she was really little when she was diagnosed with that, like 9 months old. She displays a lot of the same qualities as my niece. He was saying when they had the windows down that she was snuggled in, like trying to hide behind them because of the wind really bothered her. And I know that her having a long sleeve shirt on and like pants, people were like, it's so dang hot. Why would she be wearing that? My niece was like that though. She was sensitive to temperatures, We used to have to do that. She couldn't stand to be really hot or really cold. And that little girl has not got an ounce of fat on her. So I don't know that if she was swimming, that didn't seem odd to me that she was dressed like that, as small as she is. And they might not even had another change of clothes. I mean, when they left the house, they might not have expected she was going to go swimming, which doesn't make sense if she put her in a bathing suit. Yeah, Grandma was at the swimming hole. The only place Grandma wasn't was when they picked up H. Yeah. The other thing in that interview, I guess we'll just stick on this one, then we'll go on to the other one. But the thing that stuck out to me in that interview, too, was how he said he was really suspicious of Candace. But it was like he was eavesdropping in the conversation between her and Dawn. And he says something about being suspicious later, but it was before Summer ever went missing. So that doesn't make sense. Why would you be suspicious before Summer even went missing? Thank you. I don't recall. I haven't seen you in a while. Of course, I'm blind. You could have been here 10 minutes ago and I'd have missed it. Thank you for becoming a member. My goodness, you guys, that's a lot today. If I missed any more, I'm sorry. I wouldn't put it past me. When I say I'm blind, I really am. I am legally blind. It's not a joke. I don't see any other ones that I missed. But anyway. And then, so fast forward a little while in this little story. They're coming back. Hunter's been drinking. My son is coming in my room and he's not remembering that I'm on a live and he needs to shut the door and go back.
I was just wondering if you wanted dinner or
not. Nope, I'm on a live, thank you. You gotta love teenagers. They think I'm gonna eat. Well, I do a live. That'll be fun, right? I feel stupid drinking in front of you guys and it's water. I'm not gonna sit here and eat, I promise. So fast forward a little while. H comes back home. He's been drinking and smoking the vape stuff, right? Goes back home to Mom and Grandma. And then Allie says that she goes out to Candace's car. I mean, she can go out to the car to get H. But if she wasn't speaking to Candace, why did she go out to the car to talk to her? Sorry. That didn't make sense to me. And then she made it a point, I want to get Summer awake. And it was like, you do not wake a sleeping child. I don't care how big it is. You don't wake one. And that Candace shut her down. Absolutely not. She's not getting up. Which was weird. So then I guess he goes to his girlfriend's house. Whatever happens with Candace and Grandma and Summer happens. I'm assuming Summer made it home. I can't imagine what would have happened between H's house and home. But I don't know. I mean, I didn't know about the tobacco store and the hippie house and the Sonic stop and what else did they do? I didn't think came out until somebody else did an interview. But anyway, then they announce Summer's missing. H calls Allie. She thinks it's a joke because she's at the ball field with Leslie, her friend, who absolutely gives no F's about everybody knowing that she does not like Candace and never has. She's pretty straightforward. You want to talk about reading somebody's body language. She was honest. She does not like Candace. That is very evident. And then she says that she has a video conversation with Candace, and that Candace is walking around the house, playing with her hat, what else did she say? She wasn't crying and that she was refusing to speak to the police and that she was like she needed to go to bed. That whole interaction is so weird to me. If that happened, you would assume Candace is guilty as homemade sin if that story is true, because that is so not normal. That is way, way, way out there. So anyway, fast forward a couple of days. TBI tells H not to have any, like they interview him, I guess they take his phone. They tell him to have no contact with Candace. Allie says Candace comes to the house, and H says that he picks up her phone and starts going through it. I don't know that I'm buying that one, because he's acting like, hey, I'm Sherlock over here. I'm going to go through the deleted folder and figure out what she's been up to. But even the whole story, like, I know that TBI, the FBI, whoever, said for them not to have contact. So her going over there is not good. But I think it's even weirder that Allie let her in the house. Like, for a conversation. Wouldn't you be like, you ain't coming in here. What are you doing? I just don't, that whole story just doesn't make sense from anybody. Like, the way Candace is acting is weird. The way Allie is acting is weird. The way H is acting is weird. In that whole shebang, none of that makes sense for normal. And then there's now 3 stories about Dawn too. Either Dawn was at work with the boys, or Dawn was at home. I wish, I mean, not that law enforcement owes me any answers, but I wish they would narrow down any of it. Like, if they verified that Don was at work by himself, I wish that would just be like, yeah, he was at work. Because I think that would clear him. Wouldn't that clear him to you guys? If he was at work that day, called 911 or the sheriff's office, I don't know which one he actually called. Wouldn't you think that clear? Like, he has an alibi and that he's not involved unless it's an after the fact. What are you guys saying? Yeah, I wish they'd say anything. They're just like quiet. But you know, this is a lot like Heidi Broussard's case. They didn't say crap. We didn't know about Crazy Megan in Houston till we saw her being dang near swatted on live TV. Y'all remember that? And in my opinion, law enforcement left Shane out to dry, because a lot of people were looking at Shane weird and they didn't clear him either. And then all of a sudden, my Superman, Captain America, Tim Miller was down there. And then everybody's outside Megan's house and we're like, what the crap's going on in Houston? And then we were all flabbergasted. I still ain't figured that one out. I want to know if Megan was pregnant and had a miscarriage or faked the pregnancy. Because I just want to know that out of that case. I don't think we're going to see that trial. Do you think? I think she's going to get an insanity deal. I really do think there was something mentally wrong with that girl, because she did not plan that very well. That's a head scratcher right there. I would start talking about Summer again. Talking about Heidi's case. It's going 0. What are you guys saying? So here's my second question, and I sent this in to second question. I probably fired off 50. I can't count. I sent this one in to on the chat on the interview room as it was going on. I said, do you think H's parents have his best interest at mind? Like, really? What do you guys think? I don't. I feel really, really weird about his parents, both of them. I know his dad hasn't been interviewed, or if he has, I haven't seen it. I think that they have put out way too much information on social media about H and what happened that day, and then they're fighting publicly about custody and child support, and his dad's trying to get him transported to New York, and that's a whole nother ball of wax that's so out of left field. I can't even. That was so crazy. But then to put him out to do this interview, I don't feel the same way about the interview a lot of people do. I know a lot of people are like, what the heck is some YouTuber doing interviewing these people while an investigation is still going on? And I understand it. I'm not saying I don't get it. I do understand that question. But I think Chris is different. I kind of look at Chris like Echo Search. He's a board member of the Cold Case Foundation. He still does a lot of detective work, guys. So I don't think it's not like if I had called and said, "Hey, can I talk to your kid?" That would be inappropriate. But it doesn't bother me that if they okayed it through the right channels, it doesn't bother me that Chris interviewed him. I think it bothered some people, and maybe I just don't get the argument. But in my brain, it's different to me. Yeah, I'm with you. I'll go. I thought that was terrible that they doxed him. Um, my kids go back to school. Today is Sunday, right? My kids go back to school tomorrow full time, and we're just a few counties away from where Summer's at. So their kids have got to be going back this week or next week, too. But I thought it was crazy all the information that they put out for him and publicly fought over him, and now let him do interviews where he named people supposedly tied to drugs in the dang community. I thought that was. I mean, thank God Chris bleeped that out. I think they should have cut that whole question out. To be honest, I don't think it was safe to have left that in the interview at all, even redacted the way it was. I think that whole question should have went out the window. Because this kid's 15. Like, he's not thinking, what if some drug, whatever, pops me on my way home from school? That's why you have parents and you don't make big decisions like that at 15. You know? I just thought that was really weird. I feel so sorry for him and the boys. Even the boys knowing that they've been moved by CPS, that's got to be hard because they're probably in the same community because CPS is divided up by county. They're most likely still in the same county, so they'll probably be going to the same school more than likely. And they've been on the news and they've been paraded all over social media. That's probably my biggest concern outside of where Summer is. Summer's brothers and H having all this information and people coming up with wild conspiracy theories, whether they're founded or not. Just that it's all out there in the open. I really hope that they don't have a time when they go back to school, but I can't imagine that that's going to happen. Kids can be ruthless at those ages. Well, shoot, look at it. Look at them Facebook groups. Adults can be ruthless. What are you guys saying? This is so weird, guys, I feel like I'm talking to myself. Yeah, I don't think I would bet big money anything that Chris recorded was given to law enforcement before and okayed before he aired that. I, for one, can't wait to see the interview tomorrow. That's why I put this live off tonight because I'm ridiculous and thought it was tonight. And I was like, I don't want to watch it. I don't even want to be at my own live. So let's put this over. I'll be honest. I have a good feeling about today. Like, I haven't seen it pop up anything, but I just have had such a feeling for a couple of days that this weekend would be good with EchoSearch, that they're going to find something. God bless them. I mean, my goodness. Did you guys see the footage that they sent to Duty Ron and that they aired yesterday? It was a picture of the group and some of this stuff where they were searching. Good grief. It sounds like everybody has been really, really good about not saying where they're looking and if they've seen them out or whatever. It sounds like they've kept that pretty quiet. I haven't seen any rumors flying that way. HSY is older. Yeah. H is like 3 years older than Summer's oldest brother, I think. Yeah. It's a weird relationship to me. I can't imagine taking somebody else. Like, from what I understood from Allie and her mom's interview, that was separate from H that aired yesterday. Was that yesterday? My days are so off, guys. Didn't they say they met Candace through work? The grandma worked with Candace, right? And then she introduced Candace to Allie and Hunter H. I just don't understand why, if the adults are still fighting, like, don't agree. If I was arguing with somebody, I would not be, especially for something that's against your morals or, doing something bad, being an alcoholic, drinking really heavily, you're supposedly reporting her to CPS. I sure as heck wouldn't be letting my kid go anywhere with her. That doesn't make sense to me. I don't care if they like her or not. You guys, well, I'm going to try to with my voice. This booger has been my best friend since I bought it. It's metal. It's one of those vacuum double-walled things. It's by Tal, Tal. I got it at Walmart. You can, honest to God, fill this sucker up with ice and it lasts for 24 hours. I've never had a cup that did that. I've bought all those stupid cups that swear that you can keep drinks hot or drinks cold for 12, 18, whatever hours. This one legitimately does. I filled it up just to try it because I'm like, I don't believe it. Told my husband, don't you waste money on them stupid things. It doesn't work. That one does. It will keep ice. I put that ice that you just heard in that yesterday before I went to bed. Well, I guess technically it was early this morning. That sucker works. So if you want one, that's your thing. Yeah. From what, who said that? Gloria Fritz. Yeah, that's what I understand too, that it was fighting over a man. Apparently, H's dad was moving down here from New York and brought a bunch of people with them, and they all stayed with Candace and Dawn. And then I guess Allie and Candace both hit it off with the same. I don't know. That I'm assuming from. I'm trying to piece this all together. You know how hard it is to put together when you have a lot of interviews from a lot of different people. When I listened to Dawn's half-sister, stepsister, I already forget what it is, the interview that she did just the other day, it sounds like Dawn was in Utah then, right? When H's dad came and moved, so all those people that were in the house were there with Candace, not necessarily. Dawn wasn't there from what if I'm putting it in my brain right. Yeah. I definitely, I don't know if H lied in his interview, but I definitely felt like he was coached. Like, maybe not with Mom sitting there, but I do think there were things that were gone over before the interview happened. Because there were a few times that were even left in the interview. I know a lot of it's been cut out, where he would say, you can ask her if that's true. That's usually a red flag. When you hear that of a teenager, it's like, go ask my friend. He'll lie to you too. That's what that statement means in my brain. Isn't that right? I swear that's the truth. That usually is a big sign of, I'm lying to you. while I'm looking at you. That just didn't strike me right. Who had a good question? I'll have to scroll up and see it because I'm still talking to myself. Yeah, the whole story does sound wild. Has Jose been looked into? Where was he when Summer went missing? From what I understand, he's in South Carolina, North Carolina, and has been for a long time. But I don't know. Maybe they looked into him. I wonder if law enforcement is looking into the people that Chris Madonna bleeped out of H's interview. I'm sure they are. I can't imagine why they wouldn't. What do you guys tell me, if you watch that interview, the story that H says that Dawn called Candace in the car that day, or, not early, it was early afternoon, saying that there was a man on the property trying to get at some kids, trying to keep us safe because YouTube will yank us down. Which irritates me. If they can say these words on the daggone news, I should be able to say them in regards to a crime story on YouTube. Are y'all buying that story, that happened? That seems so far-fetched to me, that as much as Dawn has said publicly that he thinks she's been abducted, why wasn't that coming out of Dawn's mouth? Because, he has said every other thing you can think of. Why wouldn't he have put that out there if that's something that happened the day Summer went missing? That just doesn't ring true to me, that's a real story. And he only heard half of the conversation. I mean, he couldn't have heard it really well if they're in the car riding around with the windows down with a 5-year-old in the car. I can't hear myself think when I have a 5-year-old in my car. Yay, Angie. Thanks for joining the members of the channel. Yay. I swear I'm going to have the Discord server up this week and you guys will be in there. And I'm going to start doing member chats in Discord so y'all can talk to me and I'm not talking to myself. All right, I'm going to ask some more questions then. Out of all this mess, does anybody think Dawn has anything to do with this? Has anything to do with Summer disappearing? Well, either that's a no or my YouTube is behind, one or the other. No, there it goes. Man, there's like a 7 to 10 second delay today. No. Okay, maybe. Yeah, maybe. I think you would have. I don't think he directly had anything to do with it. The only maybe that I'm holding on to, personally, is I think the only way, if he's involved, it's after the fact. Could he be help covering it up if it was an accident? I'm just going to be surprised. I'm going to be surprised if he has anything to do with it. Maybe I'm just a really bad judge of character with this guy. Maybe I am. What about Grandma? Anybody think Grandma has anything to do with it? On the fence. Agree. StreamYard comments don't move nearly as much as they do on YouTube. Maybe. No. Accomplice. What? I'm calling accomplice. That's what I named my member thing. Okay, so the majority of people then think this is something happened to Summer at home with her mom and her grandma, right? Is that what everybody's thinking at this point with what we know and what's out there? Not sure. You think you know what grandma, what happened? Not with her missing, but with neglect. Yeah, I don't think I would argue with anybody on that one. They definitely need some resources. Definitely need some resources. Parenting classes, supervision. Yeah. You think grandma knows? You're wondering if she got into grandma's meds. Did grandma leave town? I've heard no. I haven't seen anybody confirm grandma left town. I know a lot of people thought Don left town, and I have heard that he apparently left the home for a day and got counseling from someone. I'm not saying like weird counseling. I mean like spoke to somebody like it had become too much. And from what I hear, it's somebody at the church. Somebody at the church was counseling him, and then he went back home. Like he didn't skip the state or anything like that, but that he's already back, and that it was only a day. She's supposedly in Wisconsin for medical treatment. Well, what the heck do they have in Wisconsin we don't have in Tennessee? She just went to the emergency room here. Dang it, we got Vanderbilt. What are you talking about? Why would she go to Wisconsin? What is she? I wonder what she's got. I'm not saying that's not true. I'm just curious why you'd go to Wisconsin for what kind of treatment. Not that that's my business, but you think her knee doctor's in Wisconsin? So here's my thoughts about the overheated car. I don't think this is a secondary drowning thing. I don't. It could be, but I don't. Um, the hot car thing. I don't think that's what happened. Only because, y'all, don't you agree that Summer seems like a handful? I'm trying to think of a nice one because, gosh, I don't want to tag her like she's a problem child. That's not what I mean. But don't you think she's extremely active? She doesn't seem like she's afraid of anything. At 5 years old, especially not being in a car seat, hot car death to me doesn't seem as plausible because I think she's big enough to get out. But it could be. I mean, until they daggone law enforcement narrows something down, I mean, your guess is as good as mine. Maybe better. I don't know. Yeah. Don said he went out and got drunk. You know, I can't blame the man. If he's legitimate, if he's innocent, he doesn't know anything, and he's really missing a daughter. I got no judgment on that. I can't imagine what it's like to have a kid missing and not be able to do anything about it. And, we know he has, not to put him down, we know he has a substance abuse problem. He has for a long time. Maybe she trusts the docs up there. Maybe. Maybe I need to go to Wisconsin for medical treatment. Who knows? Unless she was passed out or locked in. Yeah. Don't you think, like, when they took that milk out of the car, it would have woke her up? If it was after they got home? I don't know. I'm asking. Yeah, I agree with that. The church videos are really hard to watch for me. I watched them. I didn't post any of those in my update videos because I know that they're public, but the people in the videos haven't signed off on being put on social media. And what's the point if you're going to blur everybody out? But I agree with you. I think she is a very, I don't want to say clingy. That's not what I mean. But you can tell she really, touch is that girl's love language. Let's put it that way. You could, like, she needs to be reassured and hugged. And yeah, I agree with that. I think that's true. Could Summer have fallen out of the truck? Well, which part? Because the truck that it is has a bed. Well, of course it has a bed, stupid. It's a truck, Jessica. The camper cover on the back. So, I mean, there's no way like she was in the back and fell out like that. Did she fall out like the regular door? I don't know. Maybe. What else we got here? I don't usually follow psychics. One lady went out to the other house. Headache. Couldn't breathe. Smart Alec Jessica wants to say that's called summer in Tennessee. I go outside and get a headache and can't breathe either because we got like 70% of humidity and it's 95 degrees outside. You're like a fish outside. Now, I don't discount psychics. Like, well, let me explain that. Like, I've never been to a psychic. Like, that's not, my thing. I do absolutely believe people have, abilities and stuff like that. I think that would be crazy not to. Women have crazy maternal instincts and gut feelings, and I think most women are really good judges of body language. They'll pick up that something is wrong with a situation usually before men will. So I absolutely think whatever you want to call that, there are very intuitive people that get feelings and dreams and stuff like that. What I don't like, and this is a new opinion because that's nothing I ever thought about before I got into true crime. I don't like the ones that prey on the family. If you are a psychic, that's one thing. If you go chasing down a victim's family member to give them a reading and then make it public, I think that is absolutely despicable. If somebody comes to you and asks for a reading, that, more power to you. If you want to do that, that's fine. I don't like psychics that would be like, oh my gosh, let me tell you what happened. So I just think that's so disrespectful. So that's my stance on it. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of psychics that have probably helped with cases. But I don't follow any of them. Like, I know a few of the names. Whoop, knocked my water over. I know a few people that are pretty big on YouTube, psychic-wise, but it's not something that I watch. I watch enough YouTube as it is. Yes, Tennessee is a big hub for trafficking. I read an article, gosh, it might have been a year ago now. I remember it was around the time COVID was kicking off. They said the number one airport, and I would have never thought this, airport that has the most human trafficking volume, like going through it. And to me, I wouldn't have thought human trafficking would go through an airport very much, but apparently it is. The international airport in Nashville was named the number one human trafficking airport in the nation, not like in the state, in the whole nation. That's crazy to me. You would think it would be like a border state or somewhere really huge. I mean, Nashville's not that big in comparison. Louisville, Kentucky is bigger. I would have expected like New Mexico, Arizona, Texas, California, Washington to go up into Canada, that kind of stuff. And would any of y'all thought that? Nashville, Tennessee. It weirds me out. I don't like that experience. That's just me. Yeah. Yeah, you guys are still talking about summer wanting affection. I think that's true. Yeah, I would have thought LA or Orlando. Yeah, that Orlando International Airport is freaking humongous. Humongous. New York. Yeah, I would have definitely picked somewhere else. I would have never imagined it was little Tennessee. New York. Mine is usually talk to text. Yeah, you'd think that too. That was crazy. I'm not a big football fan, but I had read, it's been a while ago now, that the Super Bowl is the biggest day for human trafficking in the U.S. That there are thousands of women trafficked as tailgaters at the Super Bowl every year. Isn't that crazy? I don't think I could ever go to an event like that now and not look around. Because, I mean, it's not uncommon to see people, what do you call it? Tailgating, passed out drunk way before the ball game starts. You know what I mean? I don't, that would make me so hyper aware. I would look at everybody weird. That's crazy to me. Yeah, I've been through the Nashville airport. I like Nashville. I used to have to go to Vanderbilt Hospital all the time. There's a lot of really cool places in Nashville. Yep, yep, yep. I fear it's focused. Oh, only on the family. Yeah. You know, there was somebody arrested a couple of days after Summer went missing for trying to kidnap another child around her age. That's scary. And then in Nashville, speaking of Nashville, well, it doesn't list it as Nashville. It's like the county over from Nashville. They busted, what, 18 or 19 men who were a trafficking ring just a few weeks ago. I nothing will make you. I'm like, really? Y'all gotta bring your crap to Tennessee. You gotta do that somewhere else. We got enough bad rap for other stuff. What did I do with my drink? Oh, there it is. Glenn said, when you're legally blind, do not buy everything the same color. Top of this water container blends in with the rug I have sitting underneath my chair. Same color. Yeah. I'm telling you guys, I don't know this day and age how anybody gets away with kidnapping somebody, murdering somebody. There's cameras everywhere. I mean, you probably got them on you when you don't even think about it. You know, I saw the coolest thing though. Like, I don't know, it was an ad. It was probably on Instagram or something because I spend way too much time on Instagram. You know how they give you marketing stuff? Well, the funniest marketing ad I ever got was, "Do you need a defense attorney?" Like, they probably think I do need a defense attorney. As much dang murder shows that I watch. Are you thinking about killing somebody? Do you need a lawyer? Call Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe. Anyway, it was an ad for a bracelet, and it looked like a really nice piece of jewelry. Like, it wasn't plastic, it wasn't cheap looking. It looked like really pretty silver. Just a silver bracelet, about the size of a watch. It just looks like a bangle, like that any woman would buy. But it has two hidden buttons, like where your watch thing would be, like the little screwy thing on your watch. It was two, and you program them, and you hit one, and it's programmed to call a family member or you can push it in almost like Morse code. It's like you can pre-program different numbers. One of the buttons sends your GPS coordinates to 911. So, like, if you've been kidnapped, you push that button and it's like a black box for people. It will send your location to 911 with an emergency thing. And then the other button, you pre program a phone number in. So it can be, your husband, whoever. And it will call them. It's not attached to it's not a phone, it's just a bracelet. And I'm like, every dang, especially college age girl, anybody that's still doing the bar scene, anybody that like works out, goes running, all that kind of mess. I thought that was an absolutely genius idea to put that in a bracelet. I remember when my niece was really little, they used to sell, I think they were called angel monitors. It was angel something, and it was a watch that you put on kids that had a key on it, and you couldn't cut it with those like bolt cutters. You could not take this little wrist thing off without the key, and it is a tracking device. So if you have, it was really marketed towards kids, like special needs kids, nonverbal, autistic kids, stuff like that. If anything happened, they got lost, you can track them. It doesn't go off. It ran on my watch, has one of those kinetic batteries or whatever. I've never replaced it. It just runs all the time. And you can track them. You can track your kids. And I thought, that's freaking genius. Y'all need one of those. Shoot, my husband probably needs one of those from me. And he's like, oh, dang it. She's getting close to Target. We got to go get her. Got to go rescue her, save the bank account. So, as it gets closer to Christmas, you guys remember that that's a thing. Those exist. I think that's a great idea. It's right up there, especially the women's watch one. That is, I think, an amazing idea. If you're somebody that travels alone, works late at night, goes running by yourself whenever, or just a college age girl that's living on campus or whatever, I think that's a genius idea. Along with that fingernail polish that you can put in your drink, and your nail polish changes colors if it has a drug in it. Have y'all seen that? Do I have a link for it? Let me look. I might. Y'all don't want to see my shopping tab. Yeah. So we're talking about Summer Wells, and now I'm looking for shopping links. Story of my life. What do you want to link for? The kids thing or the women's bracelet? Let me see if I can find it. Women's safety. I wish they had that when I worked at the domestic violence shelter. I think that would have been genius. You'll find it, Jess? Okay. Yeah. Call you Jess too. We'll find it. I want to say the kids watch thing is called Angel Monitor. I think that's what it's called. I could be wrong though. All right. So back to summer. We were talking about, yeah, you need to get your niece the watch and that polish. Yeah, that's a pretty cool thing. I thought that was genius. Yeah. Okay, so what else happened with summer? Gosh, there's so many dang things to talk about. Dave Rader from EchoSearch. Do you want to talk about summer anymore? Or do you want to talk about other true crimey stuff? Because there's been a couple of Angel Sense. That's it. Angel Monitor, I think, is one of those SIDS things. Now that I'm thinking about it, it was like a weird sensor that goes on a baby mattress, and if they don't breathe, it shoots off an alarm. Rodney Akala died. The game show killer, the serial killer guy with the crazy curly hair, who represented himself, by the way, in a death penalty case. He was killed in prison. He is dead. There was something else that kicked off today. Rodney Who's the guy that I did the stupid video on? What was his name? The guy who killed his daughter, her mom, and tried to kill their son and tried to set the house on fire. That just went to court like a few weeks ago and was convicted. And he represented himself with the crazy hair that yelled at the jury. He was sentenced to 3 consecutive life sentences. No surprise, but that sentence came down, I think, yesterday, Friday, while they were in court. 3 life sentences plus 60 years, life in prison, no possibility of parole. That guy. Yeah, finally. There you go. Stephanie found the bracelet. Yeah, that guy. Ronnie. Yeah, I said Rodney because the other guy's name was Rodney. Ronnie O'Neill. Yep, he got sentenced Friday. Well, thank you, Mary Jo. We go eat dinner. I hope you have something absolutely fabulous. I was talking to somebody earlier today, and they were like, I'm eating all the food. And I said, but Sunday carbs don't count because those are the Lord's carbs and they are holy. I was like, I wish I could take my own advice. I'd like to have a whole bunch of carbs today. It would have been a good day for carbs. But I was good. I was good. No donuts, even though it's Sunday. We are doing lasagna. We made lasagna for tonight and key lime pie, so that'll be good. I'm not eating bread. Take that back. My kids are eating lasagna. I'm eating zucchini noodles with sugar-free pasta sauce and Parmesan cheese on it. Not the same thing, but it's good. Yeah, the guy that was screaming in court with the pointy hair spikes. Yeah, that guy. He was something else, wasn't he? What a crazy story, though, that detective adopted his little boy. I cried when not when they were on the stand, but whenever they ran the story on the news about him adopting him. Man alive, I cried like a baby because there's just not too many people like that in the world anymore, There's just not. Yep, 3 life sentences plus 60. Bacon and eggs we usually do breakfast one night a week. Some of you guys know my oldest son loves to cook. And he went to Texas for 2 weeks and he's gone. So when he gets up in the morning, as most teenagers, it's like 11 o'clock and he's like, this is what I'm doing today. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. And then whenever he gets home, he's like, okay, I'm home for the night, or we're in for the night, not going anywhere, so that I don't have to worry what in the world they're doing when they go home. But yeah, he woke me up yesterday with I made stuffed French toast and I whipped my whipped cream, and it's got strawberries and cream cheese and bananas, and I'm just like, if I could just make you come back home. I'm like, I didn't get any stuffed toast. I wanted stuffed French toast. You ate leftovers. Hello, Chris. I hope you're not working too hard. It is a Sunday. Thanks for being here. I was so nervous tonight, guys, and this has not been what I thought it could not go well today. But I can actually see a little bit today. Like, I don't know, maybe my eyes got better overnight. I don't know. I can actually read the comments, which makes this a bajillion times easier. If I'm too close to the camera, I'm sorry. But it's the only way I can do this. I've got one of those all-in-one computers, you know what I'm talking about? where it's just like a big monitor. There's no tower, none of that stuff. It's a touch screen because I'm blind as a bat, and that the camera is in the thing, so I'm always like as far away from it. I'm making you hungry too. I'm making me hungry. What I wouldn't give to just go. It's been so dang hot. It's been so hot. But I can't complain. They've had really good weather to be searching for summer. It hasn't been as bad as it was like week before last. So there's that. Haven't heard anything on Letitia. I have not heard a sound, which is weird. But I don't think we're going to hear anything out of Letitia. There's a gag order on her case. And I know that like we got the letters and stuff, but those letters were written to the judge. So Letitia technically didn't go the route she's supposed to. She submitted letters directly to the judge, not to her counsel. So the gag order didn't apply to those, and they had to be made public because court documents are public. So we got those, and then she represented herself for a hot minute, and then was like, yeah, that was stupid. And so I would say that guy that was appointed to her as like backup counsel or whatever they call it when she represented herself is now in charge of the case. And I would say he is up to his eyeballs in the three-ring circus. I'll be surprised if we hear much. I'm sure he's still going through discovery. I don't even remember how many pages they said they had in discovery on her case. It was humongous. Humongous. She's supposed to go to trial, September 12th? Somebody goes on the 12th, somebody goes on the 20th, and I'm trying to remember which one it was. I think it was James Hutchinson's mom, little James Hutchinson, and Letitia. One of them is the 12th, one of them is the 20th. But I've heard that little James Hutchinson's mom took a plea deal, and that might not go to trial. Which I can't verify. I cannot find anything that says that, so I don't know. Hallie, you love to cook but burn everything. My mom jokes that she only has a kitchen because it came with the house. That's true. She's one heck of a woman. No, they have not found little James, and I have been up to my eyeballs and crazy at home. Like July is weird with our family. My parents are leaving the country. They're moving to Panama. They've retired. They've sold the family business, sold their house, sold their cars. They put like a few precious things that they want to keep into storage, and they're leaving the first week of August to move to Panama. And they're going to Panama for 4 months, and then they don't know what they're going to do. They're going to go somewhere else. So we've been dealing with that. My son just graduated and turned 18 and then went on this trip. And then my youngest son just started back to football. So we've been dealing with that. And then my middle son had just started his first job, and he is working like a crazy. Super proud of him. I've got great kids, guys. I'm not going to complain. They eat me out of house and home, but they're good kids. But it's just been crazy. So anyway, James Hutchinson's birthday was June 30th. And his family, his dad's side of the family, got together with some people in the community, and they gave him they went to the park and had a birthday party in his honor, and they did a balloon release. I've been talking to his aunt. She reached out to me when I did my first video on him, and she sent me all the pictures, and I'm going to put it in a video, like a little memorial video, but I haven't had time to slow down. I've done nothing on this channel this week. It's just been no voice, too busy. The air conditioner, like we had to replace our central heat and air on a week, and they couldn't get it in for 10 days. and it was like 100 bajillion degrees in here, so I couldn't record anything because every dang fan in Tennessee was in my bedroom. Oh, you guys, my mom is something else. Maybe she'll come on here one day. If you don't know, she was the founding director of our county's domestic violence shelter and ran that. And then she started a secondary program, which was a residential program. Women that were coming out of rehab or jail and they'd lost their kids, they came into this program, and we helped them try to get their kids back, get them established. They got counseling. They got how to get a job, how to budget money, helped them get secure housing, babysitters, made sure parenting classes, like you name it, we did it. And yeah, we did that for a little over 10 years. You're back to summer. We go back to summer. I'm just talking about whatever you guys want to talk about. What about the lack of flowers in the area? Why haven't... Oh, scrolled on me. Hold on. Why haven't the parents been more proactive in the search? That really bothers me. Well, I can't answer about the flyers. I have no idea. What does bother me, though, now that you bring that up, is the Amber Alert and the billboards that have been put up. They're using Summer's picture from Christmas. Summer doesn't look like that. That bugs me. Like, I can see if they were like, just give me a picture to put it out. But at this point, we're on what, day 38, 39? They should have updated that because she doesn't look like that at all. And we have a picture of her the day she went missing. That should be what is on the flyers. That's what people need to be looking at. That's what they, on a billboard, if you're looking for a pretty little girl with, shoulder-length blonde hair and a red dress, that ain't Summer. That does bother me. I don't know how much the parents have done. I mean, obviously, the public was told absolutely not. You guys cannot help in the search because we don't have time to go rescue well-meaning searchers that get hurt because it's ridiculous. So I know that. But generally, law enforcement doesn't want family members to search because what if they find them? That's a whole level of trauma, and if they had anything to do with it, they're contaminating the thing, which is understandable. I don't know about that, but I know in an interview they said that Dawn, law enforcement camped out at his driveway. They were there until well into the third week, 24 hours a day at Dawn's house. And they were saying that he would always, when the kids went to bed, that he would go to the law enforcement and just sit and talk to him all night because he couldn't sleep. Which, backs up my thing of I don't think he did it because God, if you were guilty, would you go? Go volunteer to sit with law enforcement waiting for a tip to come in? And something else I want to know. If you, whoever's watching this, if you think Candace is involved in Summer's disappearance, like she knows what happened to her, whether you think she was murdered or it was an accident and then covered up or whatever, why would she report her missing? Because if she was involved, the same people would be lying for her, right? I mean, do we agree on that? It's still, if you think that's what happened, you think Grandma knows, Dawn knows, and probably the kids know, right? Why? So if we know that she probably got home around the 3:30 mark, by what time they dropped off H, That's only a 3-hour window to like clean up, and I don't think anybody is claiming that house was cleaned up. Crime scene cleanup is not an easy thing to cover, and it would have been really obvious if anything had been cleaned up, I think, in that house. Why do you think they would report her missing? Why not wait till the next day and say, oh my God, she snuck out of the house or somebody kidnapped her in the middle of the night? Why do you think they would call it in as quickly as they did? Every day is a school day. Jumping in room day. Here in Missouri. I'm gonna have to read it on this. That one's too big and it's moving too fast on me. Kathy, Missouri. Oh, thank you. I have on a lot of makeup. I'm trying to remember what I put on. I think it's the original Urban Decay Naked palette. I think it's what I ended up. Okay, so Chelsea thinks that she had to report her missing because Don wasn't in on it. She didn't think Don would lie for her. Maybe he is innocent. I could understand that. CPS was due to call. Okay. What else do we have? Oh, here's Ramsey. I scrolled too far. Yeah, that's a question that I have. I'm of the opinion that if something happened to Summer at home and it's not an abduction, I'm inclined to believe that it was an accident. Whatever it was an accident, and Candace covered it up. Like I still have a hard time believing that Dawn did it. But that's a question I had with the West boys out in California. Why were they reported missing when they were? It had to be a thing. Because in my opinion, those kids were never at that second house. I don't think they were ever in that county. So I wonder I imagine by the date, somebody was coming to see them for Christmas and they had to do something. So that's what I wonder. Why report her missing if the same people would lie? Why wouldn't you wait till in the morning? But yeah, I guess if you're working with the assumption that Dad doesn't know and wouldn't lie about it, they would have to call it in before you go. I don't know. What people do in a crisis when they panic is not always logical. I agree. If it was an accident, it seems like they would have just called 911 and not tried to cover it up. But stranger things have happened. A lot of people would think, like, in my opinion, what's her name? Not John Benet Ramsey. Madeline McCann. In my opinion, complete speculation, don't sue me. I think they gave her sleeping medicine and maybe overdosed her or whatever. I think that they covered it up because they were both doctors and they were afraid they would lose the rest of their kids, in my opinion. So, I mean, there's that argument. No, it's not a logical one to me because they wouldn't take your kids away if it was, really an accident. But does anybody think that she's been murdered? I mean, like straight out, no accident, just murdered. Anybody think that? I would have drank an entire gallon of water after this. My goodness. You agree? I don't think so. Could Candace be covering for H? I don't think so. I think she was legitimately alive when H went home. Do you believe it when he said that H had not been in that house for a year? That he hadn't been to Candace's house for a year? I mean, if Candace and Allie are on the outs since October, why would, like, if H has never been to her house, where have they been visiting? I mean, surely to goodness she's not just going to Allie's house and hanging around a 15-year-old. I mean, that doesn't, if that's a thing, that's super weird. Like, super weird. Oh my goodness, we've been here for an hour and a half. I figured I'd be done after about 10 minutes. Y'all be like, nope, no, it's not. That's crazy. No. The house that they live in is pretty far. I agree, absolutely. You know, I live here in Tennessee, so like I expected that I knew what that looked like, but Chris Madonna from the interview room did, a big drive through the area all the way out to the town and all the places that they stopped, and that was really good. Like I personally enjoy watching like Gray Hughes. I know he's not for everybody. I know. My husband and his whole family are from Oregon, and he seems like a lot of my extended family. They have the same kind of personality. I personally like the way he puts information out. I don't see anybody else doing that. The Google Earth maps and really plotting stuff out. Like I guess I'm a visual person, and so it really puts stuff in perspective in my brain. And so I've seen him do the maps. I've seen Gray do them. But then when Chris did the drive by through all the stuff, it even put it into more clarity. You know what the road looks like, coming in, like what the house looks like coming in from that road, both sides, where it's a dead end, what kind of neighbors, like how far away things are, legitimately from a car, not like from the street view on Google Earth. I thought it was really good. I really liked looking at it. But yeah, it is way out there. In my opinion, something that I thought, and I don't know that I still, maybe it wasn't a well thought out thing. I would have thought if a stranger abducted her, like from the driveway, because now Dave Rader said the tracking dogs tracked her on the property down the driveway, so that wasn't just a rumor. As if Dave Rader, well, he's the one that said it. Which I don't think it means she was abducted at the end of the driveway. I would think that little girl probably goes down there and checks the mail or rides a bicycle or whatever and then turns around and goes back home. There would be a reason for that. But if somebody random, like all of the planets lined up, whatever, where she was at the end of the driveway out in the middle of nowhere and there's somebody driving by with those kind of proclivities to snatch up a kid on a whim, whatever, you wouldn't assume that was a little girl, would you? If I drove by her, I would think it was a little boy, right? Which makes the stranger abduction thing even smaller of a chance to me. But I know there's some people that will just snatch kids. Like it's not just they want a little girl or, whatever. What do y'all think about that? I just think it's so random. I think if she was abducted, it's somebody that at least knows the family. Maybe not her, but the family. I think if it happened at home, it was an accident that was covered up. And if it's an abduction, I think it would be somebody that knew her. I just don't feel like she was like murdered. But it's all on the, all that's still on the table until they say something. They spent a whole lot of money in that woods. I mean, I know a lot of people said, oh, they're not buying it. They don't think she's out there. They're just looking at the parents. And I mean, I guess it's a valid argument too, but they spent a lot of money and a lot of people in those woods for many, many days to not think she was out there. The guy in the yellow truck was fired by dawn. Yeah, I've heard that. You know, I'm not going to claim that law enforcement didn't already think of this, but it dawned on me the other day. I'm like, why haven't they found this stupid truck, you know? If it were me and I had to like use my Sherlock brain to look for a truck, that it had a full ladder rack and it had like those buckets, like 5-gallon buckets. If it were me, wouldn't you be contacting every Lowe's and Home Depot and hardware store within like 30 miles of this town and asking them for um, parking lot camera footage, like security CCTV stuff, just to see if a truck was there? Because I mean, if obviously it's somebody that works, probably construction or a painter, any number of things. They go to those places. Some of them go every day. Like my dad owned his own. Um, my dad did HVAC stuff, and literally, my dad was at freaking Lowe's every day of his life. I gotta go Lowe's. I mean, that was then sometimes 2 or 3 times a day. Sometimes he would call mom. Where are you? Can you go stop by the Home Depot and see if they have blah blah blah? Go pick something up. It seems like I wonder if that's been done. That's the only idea that I have. I mean, I know they heard about the truck in a canvas whenever they stopped people on the road and asked if they had seen anything or remembered anything from the area. Apparently, that's where the red truck came from. Somebody said they saw it in the driveway. That red truck should be easily tracked. Yeah. There was a rumor that they found it a couple of counties over and that it tracked back to one of their neighbors, but I've never heard that confirmed. And if that did happen, that one's been. They said that's a nothing sandwich, and because they were. After I heard that story, they said that we are still looking for that red truck. We don't have that red truck. You went to Lowe's every day. You know, if they put a food court in there like Sam's and Costco, I wouldn't mind going to going to Lowe's and Home Depot every day. They need some dang soft pretzels. I'll be there with bells on. Shoot, put a Starbucks in there. I'll visit that place at Target. Agreed. Don't overlook the fact that people with disabilities are preyed upon. Yeah. Yep, I agree. Thank you, Gail. That's nice. Sometimes my brain can be weird. I was talking to somebody the other day. We said the same thing at the same time, and we are like, "Oh my gosh, I think we have the same brain." I said, "Isn't that a scary thought?" We're both nuts. You guys are sweet. This is fun. Do you guys like doing Hearsay on Sunday? Like everything is up in the air right now. I'm still trying to. I just don't think Friday nights are going to be a good time for me. I think a lot of other channels, true crime channels anyway, I think a lot of them like to do stuff last minute or planned on Friday. I think Fridays are just a weird one. Sundays are pretty easy around here. You think she went in the woods and got turned around? Yeah, that's still my like when it started. I said, "Oh, I bet she's in those woods." I really thought, and it could even be a combination of things. She could have went in those woods and ran into somebody that snatched her. I mean, you just never know. I mean, good grief, if you know anything about the Israel Keys case, you would not think going to a daggone porta potty in a national park in Washington would make you prime target for a serial killer. And he did. I mean, just nuts. He preyed on Native American reservations big time, too. I think there are victims in the Canadian um, reservations that they don't even know. You know, a lot of people don't know that there are a lot of missing people who live on Native American reservations, like an unusual amount. And I don't know what that is. Sundays are great. Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to keep it on Sunday. This is easy. At an easy time, not like it's just the same as any other day of the week. But I don't feel like, oh my gosh, I gotta get off here, or I don't feel like I'm in a tight schedule. I like this. Yeah, I like this time slot. I would have liked to have done it an hour earlier. I just was brain dead when I read the interview room, and I'm like, I'm gonna do a live about Summer Wells. I want to see that interview, and I doubt y'all want to listen to me over listening to a a real interview with Candace. Something to cover up. I think that just scrolled up on me. It just jumped. Let's see what else we got in there. You're Canadian and you agree. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh, I have custom channel emojis, guys. Speaking of absolutely nothing of the sort. I worked on some, but I think a couple of them that I made are too little to be able to tell what they were. So if you have an idea, like something that I say a lot or something we talk about a lot, and you've got ideas for that kind of thing, let me know. Let me know. Where could she be? I don't know. I just don't know. Where can she be? Um, I think the woods is still a real possibility, and I know a lot of people think they've covered it and covered it and covered it, and they're not finding her. But I know I've talked about it before, but Tennessee has the largest underground cavern system in the United States. And in our underground caverns, we have underground lakes, flat up lakes. There's one called the Lost Sea, if you want to look it up. Those things are so dang dangerous. Me a year ago, I wouldn't have imagined it was that dangerous, but apparently, because it's underground, diving is really bad, and so they will not send a dive team in an underground lake unless somebody says, "Oh my God, we found a body," and even some of those don't get recovered. So if she got in that, if there is a hole somewhere that drops down into something like that, I mean, they might not find her up there. From what I understand, there is no city water where she's at, like anywhere near it. Everybody up there is on a well system, cistern, whatever. And God only knows how many old wells are back there that have, that aren't in use or connected to a house or whatever anymore. If she got in something like that, it could be really bad. I keep hoping, just sitting here, I keep thinking, oh God, I wish somebody would pop up like breaking news. EquiSearch found her. That would, I mean, I don't think if EquiSearch finds her, it's not going to be good news. But gosh, at this point, any news is probably welcome to a lot of people. I mean, I can't imagine, I can't imagine being the parent to that kind of news, but just knowing would have to be comforting over this, if they're completely innocent and they are grieving parents of a 5-year-old girl, I would want to know, you know. Just I think guessing would be so much worse. Yeah, there are deep wells around. Yeah. Y'all remember baby Jessica? Gosh, how many years was that? She fell down that well. Will they announce it right away? Yeah. If EquiSearch finds them, they won't. I don't know. I don't know. They won't say we found Summer. I think it would go. It's a small town. I think locals and the news stations and even some, people like Duty Ron are in contact with Dave Rader for EquiSearch. I think he would tell them we found something. They might not confirm that it's Summer until an autopsy or whatever has to happens. But I think that we would hear pretty quickly if a body was found. You agree with Algo? Yeah. Algo's pretty agreeable. Oh, you guys think that she might have been abducted, but the parents know where she is? You think so? Even with Don saying he thinks she's in Mexico, do you think he's hinting at something or throwing it off or what? And over what? Do you think it's over like a drug thing? Like that's what? Who do you guys think took her? Like not a name, but like what type of person that knew them? Who do you think would take her? And if they took her, do you think that they've never asked for ransom or like something? Do you think they took her and killed her or something, just like as a revenge kind of thing? What are the circumstances? You haven't heard about baby Jessica in years. Yeah. It's been a while ago. Gosh, that was early 90s. Was it that long ago? Gosh, that makes me so old. Yeah, the boys have been removed from the home. That has definitely been confirmed. They were taken out of the home Friday. What about the Jose guy? I don't know. His name has come up in interviews, so I would imagine, Allie's the one, H's mom is the one who talked about him. I would think if she's talking to TBI, even just in regards to her son, she would have mentioned that. And I'm sure that I completely believe law enforcement is watching all these interviews everybody's doing. So I would imagine they've checked on him just to rule him out. From what I understand, he's in another state. He said if they find something, they will turn it over to the state. Yeah, absolutely. I was really surprised in that the interview with him last night. It was last night. On Duty Ron's channel, he was saying somebody asked, "Are you in contact with law enforcement? Did they tell you like places to look?" And he said no. I was surprised by that he's working with the guy from the rescue squad, Tim Coop. Took me a minute to remember his name. So, but I guess in his brain he doesn't classify him as law enforcement. But I guess they picked where they were going to look. So I thought that was interesting. I would love to interview Dave Rader or Tim Miller just because I'm a super fan. I'm going to do a video about Tim Miller. I'm working on that right now. That man's story, if you don't know who that is, the Texas EquiSearch founder, if you don't know his story of why he started EquiSearch, It's absolutely heartbreaking. Something a lot of people don't know about him. They went to find Kaylee Anthony. EchoSearch was called in to go help with Kaylee Anthony. And Tim Rader said that's what made him join EchoSearch, by the way. He was on vacation in Florida when Tim Miller was down there looking for Kaylee. And he said he went and drove by Kaylee's house, like where the grandparents live. And he said it was so weird because he stood there and watched Kaylee's grandpa stand there and clean out a car and a cooler in a pressed white shirt for like 2 hours, and he thought it was so strange. Like if I had a grandkid missing, I would, and people were looking for her, I would be looking, and that's the case that got him to call Tim Miller and help, and then it eventually started the Midwest chapter in Ohio. But anyway, back to the Tim Miller part of that story. I get on a tangent, guys. Tim Miller went to go look for Kaylee Anthony, spent tons of time. They did not find her. After it was all said and done, he sued Casey Anthony. Did y'all know that? He took her to civil court for lying to him and wasting resources, and he won the case. And she filed bankruptcy so that he sued her to recoup the resources and the money that they had spent looking for Kaylee. And then she filed bankruptcy so she wouldn't have to pay him. But he actually took Casey Anthony to court and sued her. I thought, good for you, bucko. That was a good job. Now, if only she'd been held accountable for something. But that was such a crock of a trial, wasn't it? That makes me so mad to watch that one. I don't know who I dislike more. Probably her. I was going to say, I don't know who's worse, her or Jodi Arias. Like, trial-wise to watch. But the fact that they gave Jodi Arias the second one, she's probably going to tip the scale. Well, that was a three-ring circus. Yeah, from law enforcement. The original. Okay, you're talking to somebody else. Sorry, my throat's still going. Okay, I forgot to ask y'all a question. Revenge. Well, I didn't look at your answers before I asked you another probably 5. You think it was revenge? Jealous of Summer. You think that? Don Jr. We're talking about the one who's a registered offender, correct? You think he had something like, did he hire somebody to kidnap her? Because they've cleared him, like he was in Arkansas when it happened. Do you think he got somebody to kidnap her? Not kill her. Sorry, my man friend came to the door. It's all right. Thank you, whoever said I looked pretty today. You give me about 5 minutes after this live is over, and it's a whole different monster. Candy Lee. Yeah, isn't that so weird? Casey Anthony's running a private PI. But can you even? Hell, she was probably giving people a good story to lie about if they have to go to court. I can't even with that girl. I can't even. I put her in one of my update videos because she got in a bar fight and she was complaining that everywhere she went, people throw drinks in her face. I'm like, quit complaining about free drinks, Casey. No, that woman. Yeah, Tim Miller. Yeah, I was saying if you guys don't know who Tim, like the story is, his daughter Laura was kidnapped. And the reason he formed EchoSearch is because law enforcement thought he had something to do with it or she had just run away and they didn't want to investigate. And so by the way he was treated. He said no family member of a missing person should ever be treated that way, and he was determined to help them bring a lot of kids home. The numbers that they put up, like how many people that they found, is absolutely amazing. And given the fact that it's it's a kid after 6 hours, I forgot hiccups now. After 6 hours missing, your chances of being found alive are way down there, and then by 24 hours, it's practically bottomed out. They've found a lot of people, though. A lot of people. I would love to interview him. I think he would be fascinating. Not like on the channel or whatever, just to talk to him. I think he would be such an interesting person to talk to. I'd love to ask him all kinds of stuff. I want to know what the whole process looks like. Like, what does a day look like if you're Tim Miller? Is it just the families that call you? That's what I was under the impression of, that the families had to call, request them, and law enforcement had to agree with it. But it sounds like that's not what happened with Summer. I'm 99% sure Dave said that law enforcement contacted them to come, not the my mascara stuck to the inside, not the other way around. Yeah, he did. He had a major heart issue, and it sounds like it's been something that's been going on for a little while. He said. And he said he felt, but now he's at home. And from what I've heard, he's already started working again, crazy man. And he said he felt better now than before he went in, because I guess it had been something that he'd been dealing with for a while and didn't know what it was. I think it was a blockage, like some blocked arteries or whatever, that were really making his heart work overtime. And now he feels so much better that it's been fixed. I think Gray Hughes is getting ready to interview him soon. He's been talking about it. I wanted to say it was going to be tonight, but it might not be tonight. It might be later. Your family was glued to the TV. Oh, Dave Rader's going to go ahead and go on. Do you on tonight? I want to see that. I do. He didn't know that he would do an update tonight, if that's what you're talking about. Or do you mean Tim? Either way, I want to watch it. But he was saying last night he didn't know that he would do an update tonight, just because everybody was packing up to go back to where they're from, his group, because it's Monday. These people are taking vacation days and personal time to come search for these people. It's amazing. So if you're somebody that makes donations and stuff, seriously consider EquiSearch. It's a good place to send your money. They never charge the family. All these people are volunteers. They do amazing work. Amazing work. You're from Tim Miller's area too. Casey Anthony's lawyer is a slime ball. Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think anybody would argue that one. Okay, Dave Rader from the Midwest EquiSearch. Yeah, it's going on. Okay. Yeah. Yep. I agree, people. I agree. Well, why don't we wrap this up, and then we can all go watch either Dave Rader or Tim Miller, or tag team it, whatever they're doing over there. Whoever Judy-Ron's got. Because I want to see it, and I have kept you guys for 2 hours. Y'all have spent 2 hours with me on a Sunday. I'm sure my husband is grateful that I have somebody else to talk to. Talk your ears off and you're interested. I start talking about this crime stuff with my husband, and his eyes just kind of glaze over. It's like, what are you talking about? Yeah, I had a great time, guys. I want to thank everybody that joined the membership thing tonight. If I missed anything else, I I will tell you later. But thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate everybody that came. Um, I was really nervous about tonight, but you guys made it really, really easy. I hope you guys had fun. I mean, if you've been here for 2 hours, it's either that or some weird form of self torture, one or the other. I don't know. So I'm gonna let you guys go so you can watch some other stuff or hang out with your family or eat dinner or whatever you're doing. If you're not from over here and across the pond, I don't know what y'all are doing up this late. But sometimes I'm up till 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, so I get that too. But I'm going back to my regular schedule tomorrow. I will have an update video because I have quite a few cases to update on. Some cases I haven't even been able to do. Lord knows I haven't looked at an Amber Alert in a week. I need to go check and see what's going on with that. But I'm going to let you guys go. Thanks for being here and thanks for watching my videos and supporting my channel. Don't forget about the giveaway. I'll make a video about that tomorrow and post it. But if you've already commented in the live, you're in there. If you're watching this on the replay, I announced the giveaway at the very beginning. Watch that. It tells you what to do. Just leave a comment underneath after you watch the replay. And I will announce the winner of that next week on the next time we do Hearsay Live, probably next Saturday, maybe next Sunday. It's kind of like the Sunday thing going on. But all right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. Thanks to all the mods and everybody in chat for participating, and whoever watches the replay, you were here in spirit. I had a good time, but I'm going to cut you guys loose. So until tomorrow, bye.